98 pounds Zepbound weight loss, head hunger versus real hunger. Hi, beautiful friends. I'm Elizabeth, the Countess of Shopping. And on today's episode, we're going to do a deep dive on a conversation I do not think is talked about enough, and that has impacted me very much so on my 98-pound weight loss journey. If you had told me 23 months ago when I first started Zepbound that this would be coming up, I would have been like, oh. But on my journey, this has been super prevalent. I started with Mounjaro and then moved to Zepbound and Tirzepatide compound and now back to Zepbound because of the Zepbound shortage. So if you hear me in other videos, I know many of you hit that like and subscribe button. You're like, oh my gosh, why was she on Mounjaro and then Zepbound? It's because of the shortages. But this is simply my experience, strength, and hope. I've got a ton of information for you. You're going to want to stay till the end, but I am not a medical health provider. I'm going to be referring for some of these tips of head hunger versus real hunger and why that's so important on a GLP-1 journey, particularly if you're on for chronic obesity management. For me, this has been one of the most profound things on my weight loss journey to heal, recognize, and then work with other, I call it my Avengers team, and I want you to have an Avengers team, however you do that. But having a medical health provider, I am not a medical health provider. I don't pretend to play one on the internet. I love Join Fridays. Use the discount code QUEEN. I'll link them down below. A dietitian. I love working with Join Fridays dietitian in the group coaching setting. They provide that as part of working with them. And then number 3 is a therapist. And so I'm going to go through and talk about all these things of why it has been so important. And some of it has very dramatically impacted my weight loss, not to be too like, but it's true. And I don't feel like this conversation for GLP-1 patients is talked about enough. And so I want to start the dialogue, and then hopefully you can continue that dialogue with one of your Avengers team and one of the professionals who can then take the ball off this conversation. So let's buckle up, let's dive in. Number 1 is, okay, literally, what is the definition of head hunger versus real hunger? For me, real hunger is my body is giving me cues, it's giving me signals. I am listening to those signals. My body's saying, oh, maybe my tummy's growling. Oh, maybe it's that time of day of where I typically eat. Oh, maybe it's in my calorie range that now I've hit a certain calories or not hit a certain level of calories that I need to then go eat. Head hunger for me is it's habit based. It's environment based. It's stress induced. I am eating, I am consuming with, I do not need to be doing that. That I have had the calories for the day that I am nutritionally needing, or I've way past those calories for the day. Or maybe it's midday and I haven't had those calories, but maybe it's midday. Usually for me, it's at nighttime. The pattern and pattern recognition of head hunger for me has been very important part of the solution of when am I doing these things of where I'm consuming these extra calories. And for me, coming out of a long weight stall, if you guys have seen on previous videos, and I know you guys binge watch so much of my stuff, if you go back to some of those other videos, you can see that I was in a weight stall for a while. I'd be like, I've lost, what was it, 92 pounds, 93 pounds, 93 pounds, 93 pounds. I'm at 98-pound weight loss. Woo! So I've gone past my weight stall. However, one of the things upon analyzing it, because my therapist is helping me unpack all of that, was these sabotaging things. That did you know that having, okay, so an extra pound to lose a pound, it's 3,500 calories deficit to lose that. And so if you have in an extra day 250 calories over 2 weeks, did you know you'd actually gain a pound? And so for me, having these little extra bites here, bites there, bites here, bites there, that seemingly don't seem like it's an issue, actually make me gain a pound over 2 weeks. So not only am I not losing, I'm gaining. And so for me, recognizing these little bites here from head hunger were contributing to sabotage and were contributing to a Zepbound weight stall. And so for you, my friends, I want to encourage you. And some people, we're going to talk about the other extreme of that too. So hang tight if you're like, I can't consume enough food. We're going to talk about that too. Don't worry. But for me, the pattern recognition of at nighttime, so like what's the habit? It's usually at night for me, environment based, usually in my bedroom or hiding away from other people, or usually 100% in front of the TV. So like recognizing these patterns, that's when I consume extra calories. that are unnecessary and superfluous and actually damaging my Zepbound weight loss journey. Because I have chronic obesity management, there needs to be some sort of management with that. And one of you beautiful souls had talked to you, had put in your comments, which I loved, you're talking about the management part of chronic obesity. And so how are we managing that? And so for me, the management is coming of getting very clear of head hunger versus body hunger, and really clear of recognizing what hungry feels like and not pushing that away. For me, I very much have pushed away being hungry since I was a little girl. I was on my first diet in elementary school. And I did not like the feeling of being hungry. And so eating copious amounts of food for me has been huge to recognize, to embrace the hunger. And so that's tip number one for me was I need to learn how to embrace hunger, because being a human being, I need to be hungry. I do. Or for me, the contributing factor for my chronic obesity was consuming copious amounts of calories. And so I'm not going to get out of that state if I'm not in a calorie deficit. And I'm not a proponent of the 1990s calories in, calories out. No. However, to lose weight, a pound of weight is 3,500 calories. And so recognizing all of these things, again, it's a lot to unpack for this person. I may be very different from you. If it's people who come in who are like Hollywood types or only need to lose a little bit of people, my message does not resonate with them. But for people who have chronic obesity management and a struggle with food, this has been revolutionary for me. And I'm still in the trenches, but this is what I've learned. So bookends on real hunger of like, okay, so then how do I know what real hunger feels like? Bookends. Literally for me, and I'm almost 6 feet tall. I'm active, and so this may change because we are fostering Wilma. We have Fred, Mr. Freddie. And then now we have, get it, Fred and Wilma. We now have Wilma, which you guys will hopefully meet. Or if you're on Instagram, you've already seen what she looks like. Or in my free encouragement group, I will link that down below too. Just click the ... more button. Would love to have you in that group. Today, I'll be approving a ton of people in that. You have to get approved to get into the group. So, and it's totally free. It takes me 15 hours a week to do that group, but I do it with a labor of love because I love the encouragement that I get and other people get out of it. Having bookends and safety nets of the 1,500 calories will then tell me and has been teaching me, okay, I'm full, because I don't know what that feels like. I had one day, this was a couple weeks back. It makes me like want to cry thinking about it. It like brings up a lot of emotions. This has been a lot of emotions for me. Is I hit my calories, and previously on diet culture, if I hit my calories and I was still hungry, I'd just be like, F it, I'm gonna eat. And I would. But my therapist has encouraged me to sit with uncomfortable feelings and just, it's going to pass. Our feelings do pass. The wave of this is going to pass. I nutritionally had what I was nutritionally supposed to have for the day. And I went back through my notes and I was like, okay, tracking my food. I did nutritionally have a good day. I had enough, it was enough calories. I wasn't going to die. I wasn't starving myself. I was within what I was supposed to be eating properly. And I just sat with it and was like, I feel scared. I don't like this. And it sounds, for some people are like, oh my God, she sounds like a whack job. But really, I'm not. It's been the most loving choice for me to sit in this uncomfortable feeling of like, that's what real hunger feels like as a human being. And I've stunted my growth in terms of not being able to feel what that feels like. And it's taken me working with a therapist to kind of go through this piece, which is why I think it's so important. So having safety and bookends. I did not end up eating that night. I actually went up and I told my husband, I came to him, I was crying. I'm like, I'm still so hungry. I can cry right now. I'm still so hungry and I really want to eat. But I know if I eat, it's going to sabotage my weight loss. And I care more about my health than I do with eating right now. And I feel very uncomfortable and I want to leap out of my skin right now. But I'm going to lean into the fact that the next loving choice for me is to go upstairs with some water and to go take a hot bath, because that's going to make me feel better. Or go watch Golden Girls. Or my new recent favorite show is Gilded Age. If you guys don't watch that, it's a great show. And so feeling that, like, clearly it's like visceral for me, of like, it takes me back to being like not having enough food, being on a diet, like, oh. So leaning into that and the head hunger part of it, I've gotten really good with this, but I'm on Zepbound 15 milligrams. And some of you may be like, what is she talking about? I'm on Zepbound 5 milligrams or Zepbound 2.5 milligrams, or you've just titrated up and you feel like you're not eating enough. If you are not eating enough, as of right now, I want to encourage you, please talk to your healthcare provider. If you don't have a healthcare provider you feel safe and comfortable with, Join Fridays is amazing. They have on their video chats, or you can also do We can, once you have been on, it's called async, to send requests in. It's a little bit different. That for me has been huge. To be able to have medical people walking me through this who know way more than I do and talking about it with them. And so if you're not eating enough food and you're like, I'm not hitting my calories per day, and it's not just been a day or it's been a period of where you think that you're losing too quickly, please have that conversation with your healthcare provider and a dietitian. I think that I have a lot of great encouragement and tips in my Facebook group, but um, I don't know your medical conditions, your histories. Other people on the internet don't either. Like there's a lot that having people who that this is their job and their specialty. If you want to know about video marketing strategy, I'm your girl. I've done multiple multi-million dollars and billion-dollar brands and luxury brands. That is my jam. That is how dietitians and these healthcare providers are. This is their jam. So let them be in their gifting. If you are not having enough food, that needs to be a conversation for sure, because there's going to be a whole bunch, and I've done other videos on that too, of sequences of that to help fix that. But when I'm not titrating, and I've been stuck at Zepbound 15 milligrams because there is nowhere higher to go until retatrutide comes out, or the, I'm doing a video on it later. I need to learn how to pronounce it properly. Cagrisigma, I'm butchering it. It's the Cagrisigma, that one. There's these things in the pipeline, higher doses, and I think that's a higher dose. For sure, retatrutide is. So talking to somebody if you're not having enough, but then me recognizing that I'm in this space and that the medication has helped me so much, but it is but a tool. And so learning these body signals of what does the signaling my body's giving me, because I pushed that down before. I would not ever feel hunger. And if I did, I did intermittent fasting. And many of you know me back from Countess of Low Carb days of where I talked a lot about intermittent fasting. And that was awesome until it wasn't in the pandemic. And then the pandemic hit and all those tools I had used colossally failed for me. And so leaning in that I can still do intermittent fasting because I do believe in some of the medical parts of it, but also, anyways, that's a topic for another day. Recognizing for me as part of this head hunger versus real hunger, is it habit-based? Is it environment-based? Is it stress-induced? When I am traveling, my head hunger gets the best of me, of where I'm like, oh, I'm sitting on an airplane for the next 6 hours. Let me have snick snacks. Or, oh, like I'm in a hotel room and I can order room service. I can have whatever. Like that is head hunger. And so being super intentional by design, we just came back from Disney. It was awesome. We went for, what was it, 5 or 6 days? It was the best 10 out of 10 trip. We had so much fun. We went to the very, very Mickey Christmas party. I allowed myself some days to really enjoy. And then like one of the days I'm like, I want to go to, I think it's called the Crystal Palace, because they have a buffet of salad and fruit and protein that's lean. And that was awesome. I had a really nutritious, I fasted until lunch. I had a really nutritious lunch of all of that high fiber and fruits and vegetables, and my tummy stopped hurting after that. And that was really truly feeling that nutrition component of it. And so recognizing, is it environmental or habit or stress, or is it legit? And then next thing is, and part of that too is me getting really clear on what hunger feels like, because I'm not stuffing it with food, and being like, oh, that's what hungry feels like. GLP-1 has given me the gift of recognizing, oh, that's what hungry feels like. So then when it comes, I'm like, okay, I got you. I got the pattern recognition of it. This morning, I was up at 5:45 a.m., which I have been now the last 2 days, to walk Wilma and Fred. I walked them 1 mile with one, 1 mile with the other. That's 2 miles before 7 o'clock in the morning. And then I get up and I handle my kid. I lovingly handle, I said that sounded not nice. I meant I get to be an amazing mom to my son. That's one of my most important jobs and titles. And so then I go into mom duty, and then I come back, and then I go into work mode. And so I had done those things. And yesterday I walked 5 miles in the day. And the day before that I walked 6 miles in the day. I'm walking a lot. And so this morning, it was 9 a.m. I was like, I am so flippin' hungry. I am so hungry. And I'm like, why am I like, stop. And I got another cup of decaf coffee. People are like, why do you have decaf? Hello, I already talk too fast as it is. Someone on my last video was like, are you doing drugs? I'm like, no, I'm not doing drugs. This is my natural state. Like literally, this is me on decaf coffee. Can you imagine if I was like, and some videos I have had coffee and I'm like it's just who I am. It's who God has made me to be. I don't smoke anymore. Back in the day, I smoked, and when I smoke, like I don't do that. Like I don't like. Anyways, so I had my decaf coffee. I digress. Let's get back on point. I had my cup of coffee, and I was like, I'm still hungry. You know what I did? We had some leftover lasagna. It was just a little itty bitty square. I'm like, I'm gonna enjoy that lasagna. I've walked a bunch, and I'm hungry because I've walked a bunch. I also today am going to be hyper mindful of my protein. I had that little square of lasagna. It satiated me. It felt good. I had a whole thing of water because I'm walking more. I'm going to need some more water because I'm schwitzing and sweating a little bit more. Let the deodorant be holding strong. I'm sweating more, and so I need more water. That's probably part of it. I'm probably a little bit dehydrated because I'm moving. I would walk 1 to 2 miles per day and do Pilates, but not like this. This is different. And this is different, and we're able to take on Wilma because I can walk so much, which is such a blessing and a gift of GLP-1 medication. So I had, knowing it was legitimate hunger. You know what I feel right now? I feel good. I'm not crazy hungry, but I'm also not crazy obscenely full. I have made the mistake on GLP-1 medication of eating past where it felt comfortable, of where I was like, have you guys had that? It's awful. It doesn't feel good. And then I've had that of where it was intentional by design to do my old coping mechanisms of eating. That did not fare well for me. Gastrointestinal, self-induced issues, diarrhea, constipation, and nausea from what my food choices have been, very much. That has been self-induced. And so recognizing for me what foods do that for me is really important to know. But I did have at 9 a.m. some lasagna. And I have a ton of fruits, a ton of vegetables. If you saw my Costco Zepbound grocery haul, check out that previous video. Like having that stuff on hand, I'm going to make great choices today. And it's going to be from real hunger and filling that nutrition. And that's where for me, my calories and protein are super important. Again, I'm not a dietitian, but for me, I have 125 grams of protein per day. When I don't have that, when I don't have over 100 grams of protein per day, I am massively more hungry. And why do that to myself? Why not make a few shifts to have more fiber with fruits and vegetables and protein? Why not shift over into that realm? And some people get, you do you, boo. This is where I'm like, you do you, I'm gonna do me, but for my body. And I wanna encourage you though to test for your body with your medical supervision with it. But when I have more protein in a day, I am less hungry and therefore I'm consuming less calories. Therefore my weight is on point, like my weight loss journey. Because y'all, I'm gonna get to that 100-pound weight loss. I'm at 98 pounds. I am. I'm back from Disney. It's before the holidays. We've got time before Thanksgiving. I'm very nervous to declare this, but I'm declaring it. I'm going to hit a 100-pound weight loss before Thanksgiving because I want to roll into the holidays this year. I just want to maintain the 100-pound weight loss. I really want to enjoy our family recipes. I want to enjoy the foods. I feel like this year versus last year with the holidays, we'll do a whole other video on that. But having the head hunger and recognizing that and recognizing if it's emotionally based with it, for me, has been huge. And I don't think there's enough conversation around this at all for people who are dealing with the chronic obesity management component of it. This is part of the management. And so having management for me, if I'm not the leader, that's why I have hired an awesome team assembling to help me. And I want to encourage you with that too, to make new habits. And for me, walking 5 miles in a day, voluntarily getting up at 5:45, 6 a.m. to go walk these amazing dogs, these are new habits. My husband's like, oh, it's not bothering you getting up early. I'm like, not really. I'm actually the happiest I've been in a long time walking Wilma out in the morning. It makes me so happy. It brings me such joy. I'm like, my body's moving. I'm with this amazing, beautiful dog. She's so sweet. She's 8 months. Today I'm hopefully going to film some couch shows, episodes with her. But making these new habits, because I've now discerned the head hunger versus real hunger. So you may say, well, what are those habits? For real hunger, having in my household nutritious foods. A trigger for me is not having bare pantries and bare cupboards, because we did have a point of where when I grew up in a single parent household of where we did not have that. And that for me, people are like, oh, you're so successful. Yes, I am successful because I don't want to go back to that ever. It was horrible. And so for me, having in our home really nice foods that are nutritious and that are protein based. And that's why we bought our vegetable refrigerator. It's like what you can get at a bodega. It's one of those. If you haven't seen it, let me know. I'll do a whole video on it. Happy to do that with you. I know that that's a luxury. I fully recognize that. But having then on my regular thing, plastic bins, or organizing my fruits and vegetables in a way that I can easily grab those foods, and my son can easily grab those foods. You know what my son does now? When he is hungry, he will go get fruit or vegetables. It's his first thing. Now, he loves candy, honey, like he's a real kid. But we don't have a lot of that in our house. He has his Halloween candy, but there's bookends around that too. But his natural instinct, because it's modeled by his dad and myself, is we go for fruits and vegetables. And so having that available helps with the head hunger, helps with the actual hunger too. Number two, a plan for the day. My husband and I love playing the game, what are we going to eat today for dinner? We love it. It's like one of our favorite things that we love doing together. But I already know when I wake up what my lunch is going to be. And then dinner, I know it's probably going to be some form of a protein and vegetables. And within there, I'm going to allow myself some decaf coffee or a proffee. I'm going to get my proteins in. But having some sort of game plan, whether that's written out or just, I can't willy-nilly wing it because I will overeat. Number three, for me, tracking used to trigger me. If you're like that, I had to go see a therapist because it was part of my trauma with food. I don't want to, not trauma is not the right word. Unhealthy relationship with food. That's a better way to say it. And so healing that, now I can track and it doesn't trigger me. I'm like, oh, I've learned so much from tracking. So if you get triggered by tracking, I think there's a difference between getting triggered by tracking versus, what's the word? Just not liking it. Sometimes I just don't like it. But I've gotten good at doing it, and I like to go, people are like, what does the system use? I don't do Weight Watchers anymore. After they didn't invite me for that show, I'm a salty lady. I was gonna say another word. I'm a salty bee, and I still have a grudge. I'm praying for myself. Pray for me, because I'm praying for myself to let go of that and release that. So I don't do Weight Watchers anymore because they didn't invite me on the show. And so I had been doing the free one. What's that called? It begins with an F. Is it an F? I keep wanting to say Fiverr, but that's not it at all. The free one that everyone uses, MyFitnessPal. See, it does have an F, MyFitnessPal. Now I just Google it because it's taught me so much of like, okay, how much is a cup of this? How much is half a cup of that? And it's really helped me to heal my relationship with food. And then I just add it up on my calculator. So that's what I'm doing. Some people are like, just let me buy the free app, or let me get the free app, or let me just buy something. So that's my new habit, is also tracking. I don't track every day, but I do try to track as much as I can within that, because a tracked number grows. In business, how I've done multiple multi-million-dollar businesses is a tracked number grows. What my intentions are, what my energy goes to, grows. If I'm not focusing in on that, it's not going to grow. And unfortunately, for my chronic obesity management, the management part of this is I still have to track my calories. Some of you, I wish I was you. I'm like, oh, and I'm trying not to covet, wish it, like being, not the word jealous, but I'm like, oh man, it's not jealous. It sounds like it is, but it's really not. But I'm like, I kind of like, I wish I was just one of those people that just dropped a ton of weight and didn't have to track or change any of my habits. But for me, I've had to get scrappy in a good way of really analyzing and looking and working and pushing and going. It sounded very aggressive. Let me take it down. I want to take it down a notch, but really analyzing and looking at some of these things so I can go on the weight loss journey. So my friends, I hope this video has been helpful. I'm D1 at Yappin'. And so we're 23 minutes in, and I love you so super much. If you're at this point in the video, you give yourself a round of applause, and I'm giving you a high five. Give it back. High five. I love you so super much. And I cannot tell you, like, it makes me weep thinking about it. Our community, the Countess of Shopping community, how grateful I am for you. Sincerely. I don't know how I got to be this lucky chickadee, but man, I'm so grateful for you guys. You guys have made all the difference in the world in my weight loss journey through encouragement, and like, I appreciate you more than I can ever express. So if you're still here at this video, thank you. Truly. And your comments, I read them all. I may not respond to all of them, but I read them all. Mean the world to me and to my family. There's a lot going on in the world right now. Here in the US, I know we've got a lot of international people, a lot going on. There's a lot of changes that are going to be coming for my family and myself, like many families, in the upcoming weeks and months. And I appreciate you more than words can say, truly. And I speak for my family too, for my hot husband and my the Duke. We are so grateful for this community. So our emoji of the day today is going to be a plate Or if you can't find a plate, just a circle is fine. And that's like our bat signal that you've made it this far in the video. It also is my signal. I will pray over you. If you don't believe in prayer, I'll uplift you in positive thought, as all are welcome here at the Countess of Shopping table. We are an inclusive group. And what's the third part? Your accountability question of the day. What are you doing today to move you closer to your goals? Tell me in the comments. Many of you have asked about my shirt. It was on sale yesterday. If you follow me on the free encouragement group or in Instagram, on Instagram stories, I posted this shirt was on sale, like 16 bucks. Who bought 3? I did. I did buy some more. I'm like, oh, I really like these shirts. It does cut a little bit low, but I can pull it back, but I'm not pulling it back because of my microphone. The sleeves are nice and it goes long. I'm almost 6 feet tall, so I always like longer ones. I had bought them all in size larges and I wish I had gotten them in extra larges. If you've seen some of my other videos of where my extra large shirts look like tents on me, so it runs a little bit smaller. So just FYI in terms of your sizing, they have a coupon. So the lightning deal ended, but they have a coupon going on right now. So I'll link that in the description link below, as is my Amazon shopping list. If you are shopping this holiday season, go ahead and click on that list and go ahead and look at all the fabulous things. If you're just starting your Zepbound or WEGOVY weight loss journey, there's a ton of stuff on there. If you're looking for more protein, and that's one of the things I mentioned about staying fuller longer, I've got a ton of protein recommendations. I'll link those in the description link below, as is the free group. And my free daily vitamins are gem. I love these so much. Use the discount code QUEEN. We will be having our Las Vegas meetup on December 15th. It's going to be at a coffee shop. One of you beautiful souls said that you would spearhead us getting together for this meet and greet. It's going to be so fun. It's going to be free. It's going to be at a coffee shop. So if you want to buy coffee, you can. I believe we're going to do it, I think at 6 p.m. because my flight, I'm literally flying into Vegas. So my flight comes in, we're going to be meeting, it's going to be at the Wynn Encore area of Las Vegas on Sunday, December 15th, 6 p.m. And so if you want to have dinner, eat dinner before or after, I wanted to do it at a coffee shop so more people could come. I didn't want to put at like an expensive restaurant or something like that because I wanted all people to come. So, and I didn't want to make anybody feel uncomfortable. Food can get weird, particularly with people on a weight loss journey. So I'm hoping the coffee shop, I will give you what the specific coffee shop is. I would like to do a sign up website. It's not going to be on today's video, but I will have more details will be coming in the free encouragement group on that. And then also here on YouTube. I'm starting to post more on the YouTube community section. So hopefully you guys are seeing those posts too, because you have clicked subscribe and like this video. Share this video too with your GLP-1 bestie. My loves, be kind to yourself, be kind to others. I'm Countess of Shopping. Count my blessings because life is delicious. Bye guys. Love